Guys, this month's good question email is a good one because it's one that I deal with a lot. How do I avoid becoming my own worst enemy, especially when it comes to negative thoughts? I just went through a scenario like this with my software company. We had a situation that came up that all of a sudden created all sorts of technical conflicts for us. And my imagination took off. I had all sorts of crazy stories coming up in my mind about how it happened, why it's happening to me. And my stress level went from 0 to 100 like nobody's business. And this has a tendency to make us our own worst enemy. We start to make decisions that we shouldn't make, or we push the panic button. We cause conflict with other people that maybe we shouldn't. And I know in my situation, I was like, what in the heck's going on? I know my irritation and my frustration in the moment, I wasn't using my best judgment. I wasn't taking a step back and wasn't really evaluating the situation because I was in panic mode. And that, by and large, becomes a bad situation for me, and it becomes a bad situation for most of us, right? We become our own worst enemy. We can sometimes take a small problem and make it so much bigger. And so one of the things that I've always thought about is how do we overcome that negative thinking, that reaction? Well, before an issue is happening, right? Ask yourself, what happens when these do occur? How do I respond? How do I react? Actually go back to a couple of scenarios that you found yourself in and see how you responded. What you find is a lot of times once you get a little bit of distance, you're kind of like, oh man, I wish I hadn't responded that way, or I wish I hadn't automatically gone to the negative side or panicked in some capacity. This could be true whether it's a health situation. I know I had that a couple of years ago, whether it's a work situation or even just in our interpersonal relationships. We make assumptions in the moment, and then you get a little bit of distance and perspective and you realize, oh my God, I can't believe I was thinking that when I thought it. And gosh, how embarrassing that might have been or could have been or was, right? So ask yourself, hey, is what's going on in my mind in the reaction moment, is it true, right? Number one, that's an important component. Like, be able to separate, fact from fiction. Are you being honest about the situation and your role in it, right? That's another important component. And is panicking helpful? Is this going to help resolve the situation? Is this going to get me closer to a solution, or is it going to create more challenges and problems for me? And really, I think one of the biggest questions that you can ask yourself is, what can I personally change about it in the moment? And a lot of times you find that certain circumstances you can't, especially if it's a health-related issue. You have to let it run its course. You have to get in front of the doctors. You have to hear the test results. You have to see what the treatment plan is. And then you can say, okay, what control can I take here? What do I need to do? But oftentimes we just start panicking and we start freaking out for no reason. It's not for no reason, right? But that's, at the end of the day, it can be challenging not to default to that behavior, but it's not helpful in the moment. It just ratchets up your anxiety and your frustration. And I know you want it solved, whatever it is, health-related, work-related, relationship-related. You want it fixed and solved right now, but sometimes that doesn't or isn't possible. And then what is the story that I'm telling myself? Like when my situation actually happened at work, I was like gloom and doom. I thought, oh my gosh, this could be the worst scenario ever to go down. And this is what I was worried about. And this is what I've been bitching about and complaining about all this time, right? Now, we should have been on top of this. And we probably should have, right? But at the end of the day, we were a victim of circumstance. And we're just had one or two things that just were misconfigured. Took us a long time to figure out what that was, but we got it resolved. And so when I started going back and kind of decompressing from that scenario, I looked at it and I said, I got smart people around me. I have people that may not know the answer in the moment, but can get the answer. I have the people that have the ability, the skill sets, the experience to help me navigate this, help me get through it and to resolve it. And so pushing that panic button or immediately going to the negative side doesn't prove to be productive for anyone, and especially for me or you in the moment. I know it's hard. I know it's difficult. I know obviously when it's going down, it's the last thing anybody wants to stop, take a breath, be patient, look at everything from all sides. But that's in fact what you have to do. You have to give yourself the grace and the courtesy to be able to look at what is happening with an objective view. And don't let emotion take over. So I don't know if that helps you, but it certainly was a great reminder to me when this question came up to get put on for this month. I just came out of the soup. I know exactly how going the opposite direction doesn't help you. It just makes things more complicated and worse for you or for anyone else who's maybe trying to help you navigate it. So hope that's helpful. You guys go off and have a great month, and let me know what you think. Ripple on.